Well, Trump wins. What next? He's probably got well the hell over. I think he's got 310 electoral votes. I don't know what he's got. At this time he's got less than that, but he's won. He's won by a landslide in the electoral college, and yeah, cause for celebration. Now she's definitely just as a little point here. She's definitely not going to challenge the results. You know why? Because she cheated. And you know what that you know what I mean. In other words, she cheated and she lost anyway. Like in the state of Florida, I was looking at the rallies. It was didn't matter if it was in Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, I don't know, Boca Raton, even down south. Trump was pulling in rallies hundreds of times bigger than hers. He was getting in tens of thousands of people. Sometimes she'd be lucky to get 100 people. It was like, what the hell, it looked like just from the rallies, the vote would have been 90-10, and the state barely won by a percentage point. And I heard a lot of things going on in South Florida that they were trying to cheat, but despite all that, he won. He won. So overwhelmingly, the populace is rejecting her. Now, Bernie might have won this election. I mean, it's the corruption of the Clintons is so obvious; it's beyond ridiculous. Now, I know Hillary's going to say, "Well, I lost because I'm a woman." You know what? If first, I don't, who the hell knows if she's going to say this or not? I don't know. But say this was her campaign slogan: "Smoke weed, wear bikinis," and her ass looked just like that. Guess what? She probably would have won by a landslide. That's all you would take. If somebody up here that just had any kind of qualifications looked like that with that campaign smoking slogan, and whatever, all 50 states now looks like referendums on weed have now passed, right? Where for medicinal purposes, that would have won. That would have won. So I mean, a woman can easily win. You look at what they do on Fox News and what they do on RT, and they always put the hottest chicks on there. You know what they do? It's for ratings. What else is what else is new, right? But it works that way with politics too. It works that way in business. It's just that way. I mean, every employment, no matter what the hell it is, sales, blah blah blah, politics, blah blah blah. She doesn't look. She didn't look too healthy, and that was another thing. But she doesn't have that personality connection at all. Now in Russia, Vlad was looking at this election too. Just as another thing you probably didn't know, there was like this worldwide poll. Who would win the election, and it was interesting in Eastern Europe and Russia particularly. And not just talk. I'm not just talking about Vlad here. The Russians were overwhelmingly in favor of Trump. He would have won by 92% if there was an election in Russia between her and him. So his election, him winning this election is good for peace between the United States and Russia. One thing I was thinking, if she won by hook and crook, in which he did try to steal it. I mean, they were cheating like crazy. I figured we're going to nuclear war, and you know, if the American people are so stupid to freaking vote for her with all the corruption and stuff, well, I'm thinking the hell with it. But then I was thinking that sucks if the American people didn't make that choice and we go that way. That would really be bad news. But anyway, even Bill does not want me. Actually, they're probably good. I'd imagine those two are going to split. Bill and Hill's show, they're going to go separate ways. That's what I think's going to happen. Um, yeah, I did mention the fact that, well, they didn't indict her, right? But I think they're waiting until Trump gets in office now, because if they indict her when Obama's in office, guess what's going to happen? And he's on the way out. That's one good thing. He would forgive her before anything happened. So he can't pardon something that's not been charged, right? That was something else I mentioned, but before, that's another thing. I know this Comey guy's corrupt and all that garbage, but it's kind of cool that he outlined all the things she did wrong and didn't charge her, blah, 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 and he didn't do nothing this time around. It's because they're waiting for Trump to get in. Because Mr. Obama would pardon her. I mean, Bill Clinton, like I mentioned before, but maybe you didn't see that video. Bill Clinton, in the last hour of his presidency, he pardoned Mark Rich, which is like the most famous or one of the most famous fugitives from justice ever. And, even the New York Times was critical of that, for crying out loud. So, money does not buy happiness. You think it does buy happiness. Yeah, we got a big smiley face made out of $100 bills. Now, in the case of like the Clinton Foundation, where'd all that money go now for the campaigns and everything, and all the money that people were betting on Hillary Clinton to be the number one in the forefront and win? Well, guess what? All these mega donors like Soros and all this garbage, boom, out the window. Now, I was a little afraid of what Soros said. I was a lot afraid of what Soros said because he said she would win the election with the Electoral College and Donald Trump would win the popular vote. And I was pretty sure ball was going to bounce that way. I didn't want it to bounce. I'm glad it didn't. But, I think, well, him making that statement and I know the story I put out previously about how Soros owns the voting machines. It's not that simple. It's like behind a door, behind a door, behind a door, behind a door, connection to connection to connection. Yeah, actually, I think Trump won by a far bigger landslide than you think. I know in Electoral College it looks like a strong landslide, but I think the popular vote probably was about 60-40, easy in favor. In reality, not what's showing up on, the computers when they counted everything, right? So anyway, Christmas is coming up, and that's one thing we have to celebrate besides the new president. And here in the state of Florida, I put up my Christmas lights up early to kind of put the whammy back on the witch's brew and all that other stuff they've been doing to make Hillary win. If you never heard this before, they do all kinds. There's all kinds of black magic and all this garbage going on behind the scenes, and a lot of these politicians are into. Larry Nichols, way back when, I know when his younger days, he stated that Bill Clinton told him that Hillary Clinton was a practicing witch. Used to fly out to L.A., not on her broom in a plane. Used to fly out to L.A. to a witch's coven or something like that to practice witchcraft. So I put out Christmas lights. I know that's the Feast of Saturnus. I know Christmas tree don't have nothing to do with Christmas and whatever. It's really pagan stuff, but whatever. I don't know. I just said that. I'm putting a whammy back. I was trying to put a spell back on the other way. So I know where I live in Florida. I think Trump got at least 75% of the vote in this section of Florida I live in. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen with this Hillary supporters. They're going to go into some other venue. Now, I can tell you right now, it's like, boy, I sure wish people would open their eyes to her still. But I think people's eyes are going to be awakened to Hillary Clinton when they start seeing, when these investigations go on and go forward. Even a lot of her supporters are going to realize, oh, wow, I made a mistake. I really don't think the popular vote was the way they said it was. In other words, I think Trump won by a far bigger margin than, what's shown on the computers. I'm pretty damn sure of it. But I know some people were voting for Hillary because, a lot of the things that went on, like in other words, when Trump brought out, Bill Clinton's victims of sexual abuse and rape and stuff, the Clinton camp paid people to make accusations against Trump, and then some people believe that stuff. Now, I don't know if, there's no such thing as somebody squeaky clean. I know that, right? You're not going to find super squeaky clean anybody, but it's all relative. You know what I mean? It's like, kind of go by the old phrase, like he who has the sin, no sin cast the first stone, right? But sometimes some people got overwhelmingly bad stuff on them, and she's one of them, and so is Billy. So that's the end of their camp. That's the end of that deal. So Anyway, I just want to put out that she's not going to challenge this election because she cheated and she still lost. And that's interesting. Um, this election also fries up probably, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars, literally. I mean, look what happened to Jeb Bush. $100 million, right? What happened to that money? I don't know. Now, I mean, she had to run because what happened? I mean, she's beholden to. Well, in a lot of ways, it's better for her because if she won, we'd be in a nuclear war or some crap because she's a crazy lady and she can't have her finger on that nuclear button, and it would be better. It's actually this is better for the Clintons that they lost too. I'm going to tell you, it's better for everybody all around. It really is. It's that it would have been that bad, and you're going to find out that this Trump guy is not like this. I don't think he's because this is why I never really. I still don't know what the hell this guy's about because if you look back all the way on Trump. He's had so many positions. I don't know what the hell this guy's really for. 110%. I know he's been real consistent the last couple of years. But if you look back many years, he's pretty liberal, man. He's pretty liberal. You know what's cool about him though? He's pissed off everybody. I like that. I like that because he's actually pissed off. Well, he pissed off the establishment Republicans. I can't stand a lot of conservatives, man. I mean, I voted for Trump, right? Right? But he's right now he's a conservative, but before he was a liberal Democrat before, like kind of like, right? I don't know what the hell he is. He probably is more representative of what you call a libertarian than Gary Johnson would be. Trump, I would think so. Now, I think one of the things that was going to influence Trump too is his family itself. His family is a strong guiding force for, the sons help guide the father, the daughters help guide the father, and, the wife guides the husband, and the ex-wife probably too, I don't know. But it's a matter of, I think that's all part, you're getting the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't just get Trump, you get the whole family. So, and you can look at his family. His family looks like it's good, So that's one thing I think it's important. So, you might see a Trump political dynasty coming up here. Who the hell knows? But I don't, in a way, I'm not in favor of, a family having a political dynasty. But sometimes it's good. I mean, remember when John F. Kennedy was around and Bobby Kennedy? I know Ted Kennedy kind of turned into blah, but sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's really good. Now let's just hope nothing happens with Trump. I don't think it will, but we shall find out. We shall find out. I mean, there's dark forces out there at all times, but right now we got cause for celebration, and I think a lot more people did vote for. He did win by a good margin, of course, but I think a lot more people did vote for Trump than what's even showing up in the numbers. She cheated like crazy, and I'll guarantee you she is not going to challenge these results. That's a given. Because if she challenges these results, she might find, like in the state of Florida, for instance, I only won by 1% or whatever the hell it is, right? Well, you know what? I think Trump won by like 20% in this state. To tell you the truth, in reality, if they really dug into it, that's how. And you look at the major media, and reason I'm putting out this video. I mean, it's video, whatever, it's pictorial. But let me just tell you, I'm trying to really. I don't like my channel's really not about politics. But I put out some of these political angles, and I put out sometimes angles that are not even what the alternative media fearmongers put out. More like the alternative to the alternative, but just to feed, people's need for some other information. Point one, she's not going to freaking challenge this election. Point two, the Russian people are overwhelmingly for Trump, which means there's going to be peace between the United States and Russia. I hope. It should be. That's a good sign right there, despite all the crap that's going on right now with bad policy with this Obama administration. And, it's cool that they also burned up all that cash that was sent to the Clinton administration by all those corrupt regimes out there, whatever the hell it is, that sent it to the Clinton Foundation. They lost all that money, right? Um, and what's in the Clinton Foundation, boy, that can help bring down the deficit a little bit, I hope. That'd be nice. So, and like I said, I'm bringing this out as, I know there's a need for a little bit of political stuff once in a while. And what you really need to do is stop watching all the major media, or any of it, including that crappy fake fake Fox News, because I don't know what the hell what are they supposed to be, conservative? And they got CNN, the Clinton News Network. So I'm putting out a little stuff to kind of fill this niche, and I guess YouTube is probably going to be the only way to get information, because everything else that's big is owned, and even a lot of the alternative media that's on YouTube that's big, they're owned behind the scenes. A bunch of fear mongers and all this other kind of crap, and it's little guys like me that probably are giving you more of straight information. And I've been around the block a little bit, so I kind of know what's going on. This election, I had a fear of what freaking Soros was saying, but I guess those fears were unfounded. I really think Trump won by, I think he had massive popular support. I think he had massive popular support. That's why he won. I mean, it's like, yeah, it looks like he won by a landslide and all this kind of garbage. He won by a really big landslide. They were cheating like crazy for the Clintons, and not just in the major media, but I think when the votes are being tabulated in the major cities, that's where a lot of the cheating goes on. You could say, oh, there's more support in the major cities for Clintons. Maybe not the way the numbers are coming out, and Trump still won. They really need to look in. One thing I think Trump, if he ever gets in, he does get in. I mean, so everything's fine. He makes it there. He's in. I think one of the things he should do is this: look into not just the campaign contributions, but also how the voting process happens with an audit trail, a paper receipt, verifiable, and it's internet voting. To hell with it. If it takes a little more time, fine. Not no logging in on the screen and get doing the vote. And I think everybody will agree with that, because one thing that stands out even with this election, if you go back a little bit, I want to remind people, I think Bernie Sanders won by a landslide in California in the primary. There was a lot of evidence that Bernie Sanders had 69% of the vote and she had 31%, and somehow she came out on top. So if Trump would really, before you get into all this political stuff, what we do here and there and everything, and I suggested some things before, which is kind of funny, which putting Hillary in charge of the LBT department of whatever, and getting rid of the EPA and the freaking department of the HUD. And whatever's the other thing, getting rid of the Department of Education and Energy. They don't help education, energy. It's government school stuff, But we got to give the liberals something, right? I mean, I'm not really that conservative, to tell you the truth. I'm conservative in some ways, And I'm pro-cat. So if you're pro-cat, that's cool. So I think animal rights for cats is good. So that's one thing I can agree on. But as far as, what the voting process, I think Trump won by the way bigger freaking margin than we're never going to know what it is, really. Because people are fed up with all the freaking corruption. People are fed up with not just it's not Democrat and Republican, it's the freaking Democrat and Republican establishment. They're fed up with him. And, he was representing an alternative. Let's hope he actually does that. But one way to really freaking fix things going on in the future is to make sure that the voting process has strong audit trails, which means paper receipts. You know, every time they get something in like that, guess what happens? I forgot what the guy's name was who put him out. He had that process and with the paper trail, and he wound up getting in a car accident and dying with an overturned vehicle on a highway in Tennessee. Which is usually the case, right? So anyway, let's hope nothing happens with Trump, though. God, I hope not. Probably not. Probably not. They're going to watch for him. I know that because it looks like a lot of people are worried. Anyway, over now.